Hey, what's up everyone, Same Time Gaming here. Welcome back for the Division 2 build video. Well guys, do you like one-shot kill builds, but you don't like to use sniper rifles? It's okay, don't worry about that. I actually have a rifle build that can do one-shot. Technically, it's a 2-in-1 build. We have a rifle as well as a pistol, and it doesn't matter if you're a solo player, you're a new player, or a returning player. It really doesn't matter. You can just use this build, and it's going to work really well. Now, I do have a bunch of variants that I want to show you, and it doesn't actually need any exotic to function really well. But if you want to use exotics, I will show you what you can do as well, and I'll show you the damage difference comparison, all that. You know, like there will be timestamps so you can check them out, and obviously listen, because I want to kind of show you how you actually use this build properly, because when you do, it works wonders. It's a really good build. So let me just show you what I mean by it. So this is the first variant over here. You can see. Now, this is not exactly the final, build you want to use. I mean, it could be, because if you have no exotics and you're a new player, then this could be the build you want to use. But if you have access to a lot of exotics, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, and I'll show you what pieces you can change to kind of use it. Now, for the specialization, we're using obviously the sharpshooter, because it's a rifle build, and sniper and rifle gets a lot of benefit from that. So we also get the TAC 50, which is a really high base damage weapon, plus we get headshot damage from it, which applies on our rifle as well, and a bunch of other stuff which is really helpful for it. Now, main weapon over here is the 1886 rifle. Now, a lot of people may not know that this thing exists. It's nice. It looks like a weapon that somebody want to use it to guard their backyard, and if somebody show up like a trespasser, blow their head off, something like that. Don't worry, we're doing body shots, so no blowing head offs here. So we're using obviously headshot damage as an attribute, and we're using the determined talent, which allowing us to get body shot, one-shot kill. But that obviously that's a headshot, but it counts as a body shot, so that's why the talent exists here, which is nice. Honestly, if I didn't have this talent on the weapon, the rifle, I wouldn't have made this build. The reason why I'm making it is because of the determined talent, and it's really fun to use it with it. So definitely get yourself the 1886. Just go to Countdown and you can farm this. I actually went there in the Countdown to farm one of these weapons, and I was able to get it, and here's the build. Now, for the secondary, anything goes. I'm using a lefty. You don't have to. You can use any weapon. You can use a white dead as well if you want to, or snipers, or I guess St. Alamos like everyone else. You could use that. Now, another weapon that is very important for us is the pistol. Now, we're using the D50 here. The reason why I'm sticking with the D50, actually two reasons. First of all, it's a high end, so everyone can use this. Second, it is a very high base damage high end. I mean, there are no other high-end weapon that is higher base damage than this. Now, there are exotic that are better than this, but we're not using exotic right now. It's a high-end which everyone can use, right? So D50 with headshot damage obviously as an attribute, and determined talent, which again allows us with that body shot, one-shot kill. Now, if you have access to exotic, for example, something like the Liberty pistol, you can use it. You can see the Liberty is a little bit higher base damage than the D50 there, so you can definitely use Liberty. But with this, you have to land headshots, not body shots. I mean, you could land body shots to build up the stacks here, but I mean, obviously, if you want the headshot kill, one-shot kill, then you're gonna have to use as a headshot. Now, another weapon that will be super OP, and it's pretty much preferred, I should say best in slot, is the Regulus. The Regulus is a raid weapon, so I'm not recommending it to everyone, but if you have this weapon, use this. Nothing else going to beat this thing. This is absolutely goated. You want to use Regulus if you have it, okay? But obviously, you want to use headshots. The good advantage with the D50 is that we can land body shots. But if you can land headshot with a pistol, Regulus is the way to go, because it does insane damage to the headshot. It blows the head up, and then it causes an explosion within 5 meters, and it blows other people up. Like, it's a chain reaction in 5-meter range, and it's very fun. It's satisfying, and that's all I can say. But again, if you don't have it, just stick with the D50 with determined. It's all right. Now, as for the gear pieces, we're again using all high ends. Bunch of named items though, but high ends nonetheless. So easy to get. You can just get them pretty much drop every time if you play Countdown. A bunch of them is gonna drop. Let's start with a mask here. So the mask we have is a punch drunk. Since we're also using a pistol, so it makes sense. We have 20% of pistol damage, and we get that 20% of headshot damage here. Plus, we're adding a 10% headshot damage mod, so that's like 30% headshot damage. Now, other attribute you want is, for example, something like crit chance or weapon handling. The reason why I say crit chance is because it's a rifle build, and if you can manage to crit, then your headshot damage will be a crit damage, and that's a pretty good damage, actually. Not gonna lie, it's really good. Now, as for the chest piece, I'm using the chain killer, obviously. because it's a Walker Harris piece, gives us 5% of weapon damage. We also get the perfect headhunter talent here, and we have headshot damage and headshot damage mod. Now the perfect headhunter talent is the talent that allowing us to do crazy amount of headshot damage. So once you get a headshot kill, you build up the headhunter stack, and then the next headshot is even more damage, and then it's more, and it just goes crazy. And with the talent on our rifle, which is the determine talent, it actually kind of synergizes really well together and allows us to get crazy headshot damage kills, but just doing body shots. So you can just hit on the body instead of hitting on the head, and it just works like that, and you can keep the loop going, which is amazing. Now, as for the other high end, for example, my gloves here, I'm using the contractor gloves. Now, ignore that LMG damage 10%. It's just the damage to armor that we focus on, and so amplified damage is good. So any enemy with the armor will take more damage from us, which is nice. And we have that 10% of headshot damage. Now, if you want a little bit more survivability, maybe you could use something like a Death Grips, which gives us 10% armor on kill. So that's definitely a great option here. Or any other gloves you feel like you want to use, you can just use that, no problem. As for the rifle, obviously it's going to be a Fox's Prayer. I'm sorry, rifle is a knee pads, my bad. For the knee pads, it's going to be a Fox's Prayer because it gives you a 10% rifle damage. And since our main weapon is a rifle, so we're going to be using that, and we get that 8% of damage to target out of cover, and obviously we get that 10% of headshot damage. So that makes perfect sense here. We want to use that. Now, if you stay stationary and you don't move much, then you can use something like a Saurus knee pad. Don't get fooled by the bunch of blue core attributes here, because the talent actually that provides you with a lot of damage. So that's 30% of weapon damage when he's staying in cover. So again, that's also an option, but I would say stick with the Fox's Prayer, should be perfectly fine. Now for the backpack, I'm using the gift here, which is a named backpack obviously, and it's a Providence, so it gives us 15% of headshot damage for one piece set bonus. And we have headshot damage and headshot damage mod, and the talent is Perfect Vigilance. Now, Perfect Vigilance gives us 25% of weapon damage, but when you take damage, you lose that buff for 3 seconds, and that's the only difference between the Vigilance and the Perfect Vigilance. The Vigilance is 4 seconds, so the duration, and the cooldown, and for the Perfect Vigilance is 3 seconds. Since we're also using a shield, because a rifle, with the shield works perfectly fine instead of a sniper, so we don't have to worry about that. Again, if you worry about this, you can use something like Unstoppable Force when you're solo. You can also use Composure if you're taking cover. You can use Companion if you're using a skill. You could use multiple, talent there and see which one is good. But I would say stick with Perfect Vigilance. And this current backpack is actually available right now in the vendor, at the Countdown vendor. You can purchase this if you don't have this. So, go and buy it, because tomorrow vendor reset and it's going to just disappear. It's going to reset. So definitely get this one if you haven't got one. Now, if you want survivability, I would say Memento, you can use Memento. Now, the damage will be a bit lower though, but every time you just get a kill and you build up the stacks from the Memento, it's going to increase up slowly later on. But the damage will be a bit lower. Now, I kept the holster for the last because I want to show you another option with the holster, which is a very good one. For example, right now I'm using a high end, which is a Hasberg, gives us 15% of headshot damage. And this one actually comes with a blue core attribute. So you want to farm something with headshot damage, and my headshot damage is bad. Don't look at that. But yeah, you want to farm something with headshot damage so you can change the core attribute to weapon damage. And that's pretty much it. Now, if you want your pistol to do crazy damage, you want to use something like Gunslinger. Now, everyone can get Gunslinger. You can just get it anywhere. Like, if you have it in your loot pool, then definitely you can farm it in a target loot. You can get it. Or if you don't have it, then do the quest. Kind of like the Liberty, you can do the quest for this, and you can get yourself the Gunslinger. Everybody can get this, okay? Now, once you get that, you can use it, and it builds up the stack when your pistol is holstered. And then when you build up the stacks, you can just draw your pistol, and it deals insane damage. Like with the D50, you can do 40 million, like close to 40 million. That's insane damage. And the Regulus, you can do 50 million plus easily. And if you're playing in a group, that's going to go like 100 million if you get buff. Like, it's a boss killer. It's going to one-shot bosses. Like, it's insane damage with the Regulus. So yeah, if you have access to it, definitely use it. And if you don't, then do the quest and stuff to get yourself the Gunslinger. So yeah, that's pretty much the setup here, okay? Now, let me show you the kind of a damage comparison here in the shooting range, yeah? All right, now we're in the shooting range. Obviously, we're going to check the damage from different variants. So I'm using the high end first. So just the high end with the rifle there, 1886, and we have the D50. My headshot damage is like 236% here. So yeah, let's see how much damage we can do with it. So first, obviously, I need to activate the headhunter there. So Let's see that. So there you go. We got the second kill full, and we have a headhunter. We can just now do body shots. You'll see how much damage we're doing. The cool thing about this rifle here is that you don't have to fully reload. You can just reload once and then keep shooting, like one bullet at a time, you know. And you can see we're doing 17.5 million, and that's just your solo damage. When you're solo, it's a really high damage to one shot any elite NPCs out there. As long as they don't have a helmet, you can just one shot them. As for boss, you can also one shot bosses with this, but if you feel like you're not able to one shot your bosses, and you can use a different variant, which is I'm going to show you. So obviously that. Now let's just change the holster to the Gunslinger. Okay, now this requires to build up the stack, so I'm going to just wait a little bit and let it to build up the stacks real quick. Yeah. All right, so you can see the stack is full of the Gunslinger there, fully, you can see the bar is full. And obviously we're using Gunslinger here. Same build, just swap the holster to Gunslinger. We did lost a little bit of headshot damage there because the holster that I swapped was the Has perk, so we lost 15% headshot damage there. Now, let's give it a try with this and see how it goes, yeah? So first, obviously, actually, no, wait. Instead of activating Headhunter, I want to just try with the D50 and shoot, because right now I don't have Headhunter active, yeah? I don't have it. Like you can see, I'm shooting on the body, yeah, just 1 million, so we don't have Headhunter active. Let's just swap to the pistol and do the headshot. Look at that, boom, one shot, it kills it. We proc it. Now the next one, look at that, boom, 22 million. So yeah, definitely with the D50 Gunslinger, you can just easily activate your Headhunter, and then you could just shoot with the pistol if you want, or just swap back to your rifle again, and then get the kill and do the body shot loop, and let the Gunslinger regenerate the stack again. And then if you see a boss or something, you feel like you can't kill them with your rifle, I mean, which honestly you can, but if you feel like it, then obviously, or you just want to see the high damage numbers, that is, yeah, obviously. If you want to see the higher damage numbers, then if you like to see that crazy number, then obviously swap to your pistol, and, you know, with the Gunslinger, you can shoot, and it's going to give you the crazy damage numbers. You can see there, I just hit 36 million there. That wasn't even full stacks of the Gunslinger. You can easily do 40 million plus with the D50 when you have the full Gunslinger stack. But if you have the Regulus, now that's a different story. I'm going to show you the Regulus, but first I would need time to build up the stacks from the Gunslinger there. Wait. All right, now we have full stacks on the Gunslinger there, you can see, and obviously we're using the Regulus now. I know a lot of you guys might not have the Regulus, but if you do, this is the way to go. Now, you do need headshot though, not body shot. With the D50, you can at least do body shot. But with the Regulus, when you do headshot and you have a bunch of enemies surrounded, they're just going to explode, which is fun, honestly. It's very fun. So let's try it, yeah? So I'm just going to swap it to the Regulus here and land a headshot. Boom. There you go. Boom. It just one shots and activates your Headhunter. And the next shot is 29 million. That is good. Now I'm going to wait for the stacks, the Gunslinger stack to fill. And I'm going to shoot the Regulus with the Headhunter active this time, okay? All right, so now the stacks is full with the Gunslinger, and let's say you were using your rifle and doing those one-shot body shot kills, right? And you have your Headhunter active, and your Dosity, the Gunslinger stack is full, and now you want to swap it to your Regulus to do that big one-shot. So if you swap it and do one headshot, and look at that, that was 30 million. Then you do the next shot, look at that, 48 million with it, which is really, really good. Now you could obviously hit 50 million. If I did create it, that would probably give 50 million. But that's quite a lot of damage for a solo player. And if you get any group buff damage, that can go even higher. Like, Regulus can do crazy amount of damage, to be honest, not gonna lie, okay? So, yeah, that's a great build. Give it a try. I mean, you don't need the Regulus. I just showed you that you can do crazy damage with the D50. So you can definitely use it to activate your Gunslinger. Your Headhunter. Or you could just use Attack 50. Don't forget, you have Attack 50. This can also activate your, Headhunter at the same time. If you don't have the Gunslinger, maybe farm the Gunslinger. I mean, not farm, sorry. You can just do the quest to get it. You don't really need to farm it. Anyone can get Gunslinger, just like the Liberty, you know. So, yeah, use that. Or just use a high-end, use the high-end. It's okay. Now, if you ask me which build would I prefer to use, I would say Gunslinger. And obviously the Regulus, because I can land headshots. And I would go like this. This is going to be the build I would use, because I obviously have the access to it. Otherwise, if I'm super new, then definitely I'm going to use the D50, and I'm going to use the high end. And if I can manage to farm myself the Gunslinger, do the quest and get the Gunslinger, I'll use the Gunslinger instead of the Hasberg. But don't forget, Hasberg increases your rifle damage a little bit. So your overall, the headshot, that body shot you're doing with the rifle will be higher with it. So see which one is okay with you. Otherwise, I think all high end is fine. You don't need an exotic. So give it a try. and see how it goes for you. It's a very fun build. So one-shot kill build for solo players is going to be amazing. Even for new players, you can make it easily as well. And it's a really high damage, so you could just use this, clear some content, quickly clear some, control points and stuff with directives enabled, obviously. And if you want to use it with just a pistol, you can just go 5 directives maybe and go crazy. If you need a little bit of survivability, you can definitely use Memento, no problem, because you get their armor regen and bonus armor, so you could do that. Otherwise, yeah, it's a really good, solid build. Give it a try and let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace.